What is up, you guys? This is May Twix here in my car. Just real soon about to go to my shift for work. But I do have an hour to spare to talk about a pretty heavy topic here, and it's on the topic of depression and how to stop depression, how to get out of depression. Some people like to call it a mental rut. Some people like to call it, well, most people just like to call it depression. But basically, typically what you experience is, depending on the person, some people will literally lose appetite. They don't feel like eating, but also they don't feel like really engaging in any activities either, because they almost see like no point in it. There's some people who actually eat more while they're depressed. But for myself, when I used to be depressed, I used to be the type to just not eat, and I literally didn't want to do anything because I just saw no point to it. I literally just pretty much feel like nothing excites me anymore. Everything just kind of seems shitty and worthless almost. Like almost sometimes I kind of feel I'll ask myself, what's even the point of living, and there might be some like suicidal thoughts. I never attempted suicide, but I've had suicidal thoughts while I was depressed. So what that means is basically you think about the possibility of you actually committing suicide, where you actually think about committing suicide, but then at the same time, obviously you're either too scared to do it, because obviously like dying is pretty fucking scary. We don't know what happens after death. So most people, they don't end up doing it, which I'm thankful for, because I wouldn't want any of you guys or myself commit suicide or even attempt suicide. But having suicidal thoughts, I think everyone at some point in their life, go through like thoughts about it. But most people don't actually attempt or commit suicide, which I think is good overall. But anyways, that kind of a bit of off tangent rant there. But yeah, when I'm usually feeling depressed, that's pretty much what I go through. Usually lack of hunger. I know some people, they eat a bunch of junk food, or they can't stop eating when they're depressed. But me, I just stop eating, almost not like starving, but I just don't have an appetite. Lack of enthusiasm, lack of interest in virtually almost everything and anything. Like, just not excited to wake up in the morning. Not excited for life. No energy. Literally, just everything just seems kind of like pointless and bland. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the most pleasant thing to be going through, but at the same time, here's what I can tell you. The key to getting over depression is, it's actually very counterintuitive. So most people, they seek. First of all, let me talk to you guys about how people get depressed. It pretty much depression, it comes about when you feel like you're not getting something out of life. And that's where like the whole idea of, like, oh, what's the point of, like living or trying comes out from, right? So it literally like depression usually comes from the fact that like your life isn't the way it should be. And typically what people mean by that is not necessarily like the money or, like relationships or anything like that. It's not of the external as people think. It goes deeper than that, actually. Because if it was all about the external, then why the fuck why is depression among all, all types of people, like rich people? Depression is amongst people who are also poor, obviously, but it really doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor or whatever. Actually, to be fair, I think more poor people are probably like depressed, right? Because it's just the life situation. It kind of sucks, but hey, rich people, like, they get depressed too. And people who, and like people like me, like very average life, like I'll see people who are like really rich and like no health problems, and they seem to have like everything going for them, but they're depressed. And I didn't really understand that at first, but obviously they're not getting something that they want either. And what is it? What is that thing that's causing this depression, right? And it's actually very simple. What's the opposite of depression? The opposite of depression is enthusiasm, ecstaticness, happiness, right? It's happiness. So when people are not happy, they're depressed. And when they realize that, basically they feel like they can never be happy, and that's why they're stuck in this depression, right? And so people try to do all these things to make themselves happy again, right? So what happens? Like, like what I used to do when I got depressed is I would just try to fuck a lot of girls, or I would try to go out and make more money, or I would try to do all these fucking different things to make myself happy, and everything just seems more and more pointless because it's just not working. And you almost feel hopeless sometimes, and that's where like the suicidal thoughts come, right? Now, to get over this mental rut, which feels like almost like a prison sometimes, right? It's actually counterintuitive. So basically, whatever you're trying to do right now to not be depressed, meaning trying to do things to make you happy, it's not gonna work. Sorry to break it to you, but I'm actually telling you guys to stop using external things as a way to stop being depressed or get out of depression, or basically trying to be happy. Because it's just not the way it works. And it took me a while to figure this out, because fuck, man, I've probably been depressed from literally age, I don't know, fucking like zero. Not age zero. Okay, to be fair, like, no baby's really depressed because everything's pretty exciting at that point. But probably from age like 5 to age, I want to say age like 20. From age 5 to age 20, it was just pretty much like my baseline was depression. Obviously, my baseline was depression, but I would have moments where, thankfully, I would have moments where like it kind of was okay. Like I would do things in life, you know, like hang out with friends and family that would kind of make it okay. But overall, like the baseline was depression, clinical depression. But you know, I never went to like go see a psychiatrist or doctor because I didn't think it came to the point where I needed that. But I did have a lot of suicidal thoughts. Never attempted any, and I did feel hopeless because I felt like literally something was wrong with me. It seemed like everybody else was very happy and all the time, and I wanted that, and I couldn't get that. So yeah, I was kind of stuck in this depression, right? And I'm pretty sure this is a very similar to story or description to how you guys feel when you guys think that you guys are depressed. So getting back to like how to get over this, counterintuitively, you basically have to do the opposite of trying to be happy. So what the fuck does that mean, right? What I mean by that is basically stop trying to be happy. That's pretty much it. I know it sounds very like fucking weird and fucked up, and kind of more depressing right now. But let me explain to you the reasoning behind what I just said. So, like, if someone asked me how I got over my depression, I didn't get over my depression because there's no reason to, guys. That's the whole idea here. Because it's not really so much depression that's the issue. It's the fact that we are trying to be happy. Trying to become happy is the issue. And where does that come from? It literally comes from the external, the idea, the fantasy that we have in our heads, thinking that we have to be happy all the time, you know. And these are like just obvious, blatant examples. But you look at you watch movies, you watch TV, you even like YouTube videos, social media like Instagram and shit like that. Even your friends like on Snapchat. Look at all the shit that they post. What the fuck are they posting all the time? It's them partying, it's them doing all this fun, happy shit. Alright? That's all, and that's like just a small percentage of their entire life. And all you're seeing is that small percentage of them being happy, right? When in reality, you know, that's not their entire life. You're just seeing that small percentage. And what you're doing is basically you're fucking telling yourself that like your life needs to be like that. Like your life 24/7. All right, guys, I ran out of storage, so I had to go back and actually delete some old footages to make some more room to make the rest of this video. But basically, to continue, like everything you see on the internet, media, social media, whatever, is pretty much like brainwashing you to think that you have to be happy 24/7. And by what I mean, like, but what I mean by happy is that basically your life needs to be like party, like 24/7, and that's fucking not sustainable. That's not, sorry, but that's impossible for anyone. All right, if life was about just being happy like that all the time, then dude, like, go fucking do drugs, go fucking drink all the, like, 24/7. But obviously those people, what the fuck happens to them? They end up in a mental asylum, they become homeless, they fucking commit suicide, it's all self-destructive shit, right? So obviously we don't want to do that, right? We don't want to be chasing after pleasures. Because when you chase after pleasures too much, what happened? Even not like drugs or alcohol, even just food, like indulging yourself in just shitty food all the time, just overeating. I mean, you're gonna get fat over time, right? And eventually, like, you might die of heart disease. And I'm just being real. I'm not trying to be a downer right now, and I'm just being fucking real. That's real life, all right? That shit happens. So what I want you guys to realize is to realize that, you know, you can never be 100% happy all the time. And yeah, like, whatever you see on social media or your friends or whatever, like, that's all bullshit. I mean, it's bullshit in terms of, like, that's not their life 24/7. Most likely 9 times out of 10, they're probably just as depressed as you, if not worse. That's the truth. Okay, guys? So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that the main takeaway here is to be aware of that. Be aware of that. All right? And so I'm telling you, there's no point in trying to be happy again, because it's just not real, man. It's just not sustainable. It's all an illusion, right? So what are some practical things that you can do to get out of depression? Well, first of all, accept what I just told you, right? The fact that you can't be happy all the time. And another thing to be aware about is the fact that depression, what depression actually means, there is a good side of being depressed, basically. So people in third world countries who are starving or at war, you know, like, every day they're afraid of, literally, they have to survive pretty much. They're always in survival mode. You know, they're basically trying not to die, right? Guaranteed 10 out of 10, none of those people are depressed. Because why? They don't have time to be depressed, guys. Depression is actually a luxury. A luxury. And what do I mean by that? You being depressed pretty much fucking means that, obviously, aside from the fact that, you know, you think your life has to be something that, you know, that's not sustainable, but it's also the fact that you have all this free time to think about those things, right? So you're most likely, I mean, a lot of people, I know you got to pay your bills. I know, you know, you might be going through some life struggles, but you're not, honestly, like, you are not starving to death, most likely. You don't have your life threatened every single minute. You don't have, like, a gun pointed to your head, like, every fucking minute, right? Most likely, you know, financial struggles, if you're going through that, that's something you will get out of once you get the ball rolling, okay? So that said, I mean, especially if you're watching this video, I mean, come on, dog. Like, if you're able to watch this video, most likely you're doing just fine. Maybe a little financial struggles for some of you. I understand that. But the fact that you even have time to be watching this video, I'm already going to assume that you're in a pretty good place. Now, that said, you know, you probably also have a lot of time to think a lot of bullshit, right? Think a lot of shit, giving yourself more reason to be depressed, pretty much. And yeah, guys, like, honestly, the key here is to stop trying to be not depressed. Stop trying to be happy. All right? Once you can get a grasp on that and realize that you don't need to live up to any standard, because at the end of the day, like, let's be real, we're all human. Okay, we're all human. We all go through this shit. Like, don't feel like you're the only person going through depression. Everybody virtually goes through that shit. And nobody in this world can sustain a 24/7 happiness state. All right? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not over my depression. And honestly, I don't give a fuck. I don't think I'll ever will get over my depression. And I've come to acceptance with that. But at the same time, I'm aware of that. And I'm still going to try to do shit. Make something happen out there. Make YouTube videos. Try to help people out. Be there for my family. Make money. Just because I can. Just because I can, guys. Like, I don't have to worry about fucking starving to death or getting shot in the head 24/7 like in those third world countries, or even like some places here in America, like, like some of the ghettos here. Like, I don't have to worry about that. So, gratefulness, another thing is gratefulness. When you realize, like, holy shit, like, you have it okay here, that also is like, that awareness, that level of awareness is also what's gonna keep yourself from, like, victimizing yourself all the time. But at the end of the day, guys, main takeaway here is stop trying not to be depressed. Stop trying to be happy. Just fucking accept the fact that, you're never gonna be happy all the time. Just let go. All right, let go of that. Oh, I used to be happy back then, or one day I'll be happy. No, it's right now. Whatever life situation you're in. I mean, let's be real. Like, I want you guys to be fucking honest with yourself. If you're in a life situation where you don't want to be in, let's say you're poor, or let's say you're whatever, you do realize that you can go out there and work your ass off. If you don't have money, fucking work 2 jobs, 3 jobs if you have to, or, work really hard with that one job and get yourself promoted. Like, there's so many different things to do. Start a business, hit the gym, like, do something. The key here is to do something. But at the same time, don't do something to not become depressed again, or don't do something to be happy. Do something because you can, not because you need to, because you can. You guys have the freedom to do that, and accept the fact that, like you can't become happy again. Accept the fact that you're going to be depressed all the time. And funny enough, when you can come to full acceptance of that, that's real happiness. That's when you can really start living life. And I fucking guarantee you that. Have a good day.